guys, welcome back to my channel सुनो कहानी वेयर वी वर रीडिंग यू लिव ओनली वंस। इसके 2 चैप्टर्स मैंने ऑलरेडी रीड करके अपलोड कर दिए हैं। अगर आपने नहीं सुना है तो वो जाके पहले सुन लीजिए। एंड दिस इज़ द सेकंड वीडियो, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट। लॉन्ग आइलैंड आइस टी, रिकी। Friday 1st November 2019, Ricky's Beach Shake, Pelham, Goa, India. Sorrow is an inseparable part of me, just like happiness. To live life fully, I believe I must experience it all. Life is like a glass full of the cocktail Long Island iced tea. It's a mix of the darkness from Coke and the golden from rum. And Goa. It's an accumulation of many such cocktails. Goa is not quite literally a place. Goa is a vibe. Goa is a state of mind, and Pelham Beach is the southern district of Canacona is my hideaway here. Paloma is adorned by hills on one and the horizon on the other side. No matter the time I go to sleep, I wake up at 5 a.m. sharp. Running every morning by the beachside has been a routine. A waterproof digital watch, a pair of running shoes, a jersey, that's all I need. Why do people seek solace in routine? It's only a thing or two that can spark excitement on day-to-day basis. Running is one of those activities for me. When I run religiously. It gives me immense pleasure, and when I get tired, it makes me feel as if I have conquered something. It gives me a feeling of achievement. I run every morning without fail, and it is something that I have been doing for a long time. There is not a hurt a morning run can't fix. I have to shoot for the TV series Sunrise to Sunset today. It's aired every weekend on National Geographic during prime time. They are touring the world and featuring the best beach shakes on the show. And we are fortunate that they have picked Ricky's Beach Shake, my own in Goa. The best part of living in a beach shake is that you can put on your beach wear anytime and move into the inviting ocean all on your feet. A team of 6 arrives at the counter. 4 of them are surely the cameraman. An extremely stylish woman introduces herself as Noor. I assume she will walk the talk. We invite them for a cup of coffee, but they suggest to start the shoot right away as they want to capture the sunrise. In her brief, she tells me to look at her as I answer her questions. It brings me some relief as I am anyway too shy to talk while looking at the camera. It is, after all, my first TV interview. Let's start. She signals to her team and adjusts two collar mics, one on her collar and the other on mine. What is a beach shake? She asks. If you would Google, you would find that a shake is a small, often primitive type of shelter or dwelling like huts. Shakes are constructed by hand using only locally available materials. However, if you ask me, shakes in Goa constitute a way of life. We constructed beach shakes every year in mid-October before the tourist season kicks in and dismantle team before monsoon. Once the sea water recedes, we build them up again. If you haven't spent a Christmas and New Year at a shake yet, you must book your next right away. She asks her cameraman to take a little break and tells me, Ricky, you can't be selling your service on the show. It should not look like you are advertising. Don't ask people to book a holiday. If need be, I will see it at the end of the shoot. Okay. I say as I get a bit conscious. It's my first time and I fear I have nearly ruined it. I take a deep breath and instruct my brain to follow her command. We continue to walk as we reach the end of the beach. Her team is occupied with capturing sunrise shoots. There is a jungle echoing with chirping birds on my right. There is a stream of backwater which separates an island nearby, a suitable place for trekking on your own. I say and point, wanting them to capture the beauty of it all. The cameraman team follows my command. How does it feel to experience the sunrise every morning? The interviewer continues as the cameraman returns to face us. Pelham has my heart. The sight of the rising sun in between the hills fills me with all the energy and revitalizes my senses. Tourists often may enjoy a boat ride on their own or ask the local fishermen who live by the backwaters to take them to nearby beaches or into the jungle by the serene backwaters. If they wish to get the feel of staying on a Maroon Island for a few hours, they are taken to the nearby Canacona Island. In winters, one might just get lucky and spot a couple of dolphins in the seawater playing and enjoying among themselves. Dolphins from places far migrate here to escape the extremely cold waters, much like my European and Russian guests. Cut, says a guy from her team. He indicates that we have crossed the deadline for one question. We take a turn and start walking towards the other end. I complete at least 10 such laps every day. The sea looks tranquil and calm today. However good the change feels, it's not a good timing for the sea to be so quiet. The sea needs to be rolled to be fine. Have you ever heard the phrase lull before the storm? What kind of storm could be on its way? How would you describe the spirit of Valom? What brings all the guests together? As you can see, the entire coastline is dotted with a multiple six. After all the good food we served and the allure of the sea, music is what brings our guests together. During evenings, the entire beach is light up with beautiful candles that are tactfully placed on the tables arranged right in the beach next to the Arabian Sea. Every weekend, we have live music, performance, and stand up comedy acts. What is the most special thing about Goa? She continued in a hurry. It seems if the sunrise and sunset are the two most important timings for them. When you land here, you experience freedom and peace as you never would have before. After touring around the world for 20 years, I came to settle 3 years back in this one place I could call home. I was born and raised in Goa. You would think, why is he trying to be cool? Old fellas always retire to their hometowns. While a lot of people dream of owning a beach shake when they are retired, I finally to have one. I named it after myself as I haven't met a better person than me. Ever. Okay, I am not that self consumed, it is only a joke. I slip into a broken laughter and continue. But to be honest, it was not always the plan. Exactly 23 years ago, I left Goa believing in my heart that this is one place I would never return to. I was young, heartbroken, and lost. The only love of my life, Elisa, had left the country with a rich, successful businessman. She probably married and settled down with him in Europe. I never kept contact, and a year later, I heard in the media that she had died. I could never even tell her how much I love her. Oops, loved her. Maybe love her is correct. I don't know, maybe I did tell her as much in bits and pieces, but she never reciprocated. That's the worst part of my life. You can't make someone who does not love you. As I answer my guest, I realize that much has changed in these past years. The sea is almost the same, but the coastline feels different now. And then, back in those days on weekends, Elisa would sing and I would play the drums at the Hippie Trails Cafe. There was no other shake then. Only locals and hippies knew about this beach. Tourists would go to the more crowded Baga, Kalanguet or Anjuna beaches. THT Cafe shut indoors permanently in the early 2000s. I bought the same land 3 years back and Ricky's Beach Shake was erected here. Alisa's innocence was like a fresh blooming lilies. Of all the dresses she wore, I remember her lick frock the best. Elisa is to me exactly what your first love is to you, as it remains with you. I could never move on either. Soon, five-star hotels started to chase us for weekend performance, and Elisa became the voice of Goa. He lives her live performance attracted even Bollywood celebrities, and finally, Suttu received an offer from a big studio in Bombay to record with them. The only problem with her was, I believe that she was not at all ambitious. She was always more inclined towards starting a family and living a low key life. The worst thing she did was to leave the country and settle down with the Chris NRI who would visit our shows every week during his stay in Goa. He is the person I have hated the most all through my life, quite literally. I believe he might have been the reason behind her death. No matter how hard you try, you can't ever tolerate the other person in the life of the person you love. The worst thing about unrequited love is that you start to compare and make a list of all things that you could have to get this person, and then realize that no matter how hard you try, you just can't make the other person love you the way you do. It fills me the deep regret to have not met her once before she died. I could not have afford to go to Greece. My life is an open book. I hardly have anything to hide. I still believe that the entire city of Goa knows about my love for her. Maybe she did too. It's tough to explain why, but some relationship hurt until the end. I knew I was in love because wherever I was, I thought of her. To date, when a singer sings, he is in her deepest melodious in my sake. I think of her. I think about the fact that I could never tell her how much I loved her. When they sing a song, I feel like every note or every word is dedicated to her. Back then, I was soft and vulnerable. After serving in the merchant navy for almost 20 years, I have become hard as a rock. I still remember every single brutally that I have been through. Only 3 months into the job, I was the only Indian sailing with a whole Vietnamese crew to Africa. We had not eaten fresh food in days, and one stormy night a fish made its way to on the deck. Lost she must have been, much like I was in those days. Pick it up and butcher it. Those are the only words in English that I ever heard. My captain uttered. The rest of the crew started to cheer as if I was a matador preparing to face the bull. The only difference was that it was a baby shark and I had no red cloth. My body started to shake and shiver, much like my values as they force handed a knife to me. I stared into the shark eyes, stone cold they were. It seemed as if it longed to meet a loved one. I could see my own reflection in those eyes. I thrust the knife in its belly. It was dead in an instant. Yet I passed out. 2 hours later, I woke up in my compartment. The fish had been prepared and served to everyone by then. That day, I knew I would never be the same again. Something in me had changed, shifted. I have made all the wealth I wanted. I just want to live my life now. My mother was my only responsibility until the day during an occasional stop we made at Cape Town, South Africa. I heard that she had passed away while I was still sailing across the Atlantic. My career ensured that I sent money back home to my mother regularly, but it never filled my soul. Now that she is no more, and since I never got married, I just have to take care of myself. I interrupted their conversation and said, the tea is my passion. You could do any activity involving water if you visit my sake. When I am not surfing on the waves, I am most certainly high on substance my Russian tourist gets for me. They laugh in unison before I realize that they must have accidentally got in one take. Can we take this off the record? I laugh. Don't worry, he winks. If you were to ask me what I like the best, marijuana, I would say. One of my favorite varieties smells like flowery incense sticks all through my life. I tried to run away from this place, Goa. Now I try to escape the physical boundaries of my very own body. Complicated, you will know more about me as I reveal my story. Let me let me make it clear. I am not an addict. I just find bliss in letting myself loose occasionally. We keep walking only to reach my sake. The board at the gate reads a new thought every day. It's typical blackboard that is looked after by my manager, Sheen. She puts her creativity and fondness for colors to the best use right on this board. Today, it reads Recipe, music, long drive, hair let loose out of the window, a bunch of crazy friends, this a perfect life. Noor alerts her team to take a close shot of the board. She continues, what is special about Ricky's Beach Shake? My dream project, Ricky's Beach Shake, bustles with people, sounds, and festives. The only rule is to switch off your phones and when you are at the club. I stayed away from a normal habitat and mobile phone networks for so many years that it now suffocates me to the last bit. I find pleasure in little things like I find peace in helping new babies learn diving and suffering. I also help young people achieve their goals. When you scuba dive into the ocean, you generally have an instruction who guides you all the way to bottom, handholds holds you, not because you are not capable of reaching the bottom, but to make you realize when you lose track midway that you can still achieve it. I am one of those people you meet most lost millionaires who visit my cafe are living in the FOMO. Someday got the dream job, somebody got married, somebody is traveling the world, or somebody won an award. It has always been happening. It's just that social media brings it to your notice and you worry for no reason at all. FOMO is useless, unnecessary, and counterproductive. I tell them to stop comparing, start living, but they are no risk taking and relentlessly pursue their passion. Unlike my generation, I envy them for the fact that I was never free. I feared a lot of things in life, and therefore I was always the follower. People from across the world come to watch my muse perform and get inspired to find their true selves, live meaningful lives, and strive hard to become the best version of themselves. What do sunset feel like at Ricky's? My tourists serve a glass of wine with delicious food served in the shake as we offer a multi-cuisine menu to choose from while listening to their favorite Beatles or Pink Floyd numbers playing in the background. Every Saturday brings a live performance. Evenings are meant to get transfixed by the ambitious and feel blessed while you witness a mesmerizing sunset. She looks into the camera and says, this is just a glimpse of the day that can be spent at Ricky's, but exploring more to land upon a new avenues of a perfect holiday is the key to getting more out of his untouched beach village. If you are a social person like me, you can find here travelers and backpackers from around the world who are willing to share their tales of travel over a mug of beer. You have mentioned that music brings you guests together. What's special about the music here? She continues. Music culture across India means Bollywood, but here in Goa, although only a few miles from Mumbai, we celebrate music spanning across countries and years. Nothing touches me anymore except for music and some comedy. Music reminds me of Elisa, and comedy encourages me to look beyond the tragedy of my life. I continue after a pause. Summer of 69 played on a radio transmitter in the background when I met the love of my life for the first time at the school canteen. When you listen to this song, I am sure you have distinct memories that surface too. Isn't it amazing how listening to the same piece of music takes each listener to a different time zone in their life according to how differently it touched them? Music is that fine, invisible thread that connects us to the divine. Music is ethereal. Music is God. I still regret not taking up drumming as seriously as I should have. And Elisa, she left an amazing career for nothing. Unlike me, she never returned. I never played the drums after I heard that she died. My drums are still lying at my grandmother's old house in Bambolin. Elisa chose never to come back, never to keep contact, never to write letters. While she means the most of my existence, I would never want to meet her again. Even if she is by chance still alive, I honestly don't have the courage. I would tremble like a teenager. All I want to tell you is that I wish I had never met you, Elisa. I look at the blue sky turning orange as the sun makes it wave amidst the cold clouds. I like the blue sky more. I am also convinced that my soul is blue. It meanings seamlessly with the blues of the sky, the sea, and the river. My heart feels at home when it feels blue. Sorrow is an inseparable part of me, just like happiness. Life is a mix of happiness and sorrow. To live life fully, I believe I must experience it all. Scene smiles at us as we enter the shake and occupy a table closer to sea. She tolerates all the bullshit I throw at her. Yes, I think she is in love with me. However, I could never feel for her the way I felt for Elisa. And somehow, it does not bother her either. She visited my cafe 2 years back and decided to stay here. She now manages everything as I am hardly in my sense to take control of this. All of all this is one-sided love a bond. She chimes as she punches our fourth order of the day, my black coffee. I don't have to mention it to her. It's a routine. She gets two cup of coffee for us. Three other tables are occupied already. She often pulls my leg publicly. We often have such conversation. We are like buddies. Of course it is. I reply out loud as she is still in the counter, about 30 steps away from us. Does the hurt get better with time? She shouts back in a teasing way. It helps. As intimacy in a relationship impacts individuality, you don't have to be in a relationship to love someone, I shout back. Noor and her team look at us in amazement. I'm sure the kind of things we discuss and talk about most other people would find shocking. Can hurt equal gratification? Scene quizzes. In this case, it can. What are you high on early in the day? Beer? You. She winks and laughs on loud. Noor interrupts. Is your wife? We are buddies, I reply. There is so much pain in life. Why not celebrate instead of crying over it? That's what I tell my boy as well. I shout out loud to him. When is he performing next, our boy? Yes, tomorrow. We have sold half of the tickets, she says as she raises her cup of coffee. That's good news, I say. We are talking about the stand up comedian who is performing at our sake tomorrow. I tell Noor, you must attend the show. I'm afraid we have to leave back from Mumbai tonight, perhaps some other time. Harinder, our most entertaining waiter, serves us the English breakfast. We talk about Goa for another half an hour. As we eat, Noor and her team leave for a day tour and promises to return at sunset for another shoot. Homecoming Alara. Friday, 1st November 2019. Konkan, Kanya Express, Mumbai, India. There is a reason why we don't have an answer to everything yet. If we become all knowing, the purpose of life will be destroyed. People stand up as soon as we land and create a nuisance for the air hostess. Sir, ma'am, please be seated until the captain indicates. One of them almost screams. After 10 minutes, the entire pack is headed on its own. I haven't experienced such a huge mass of people this close. While it's nearly sniffle to touch a stranger in a purgue, people seem okay about touching each other here as they move out of the aircraft in a hassle. I move towards the baggage belt and wait for my checked in luggage. The bags are either damaged by mishandling or plastered with a polyplastic to protect them. I am the kind of who would cover her bag for the fear of receiving them scratched. I get an inexplicable sense of satisfaction in protecting it as if it were my child. I continue to read Lying by the Beach in Pelong, Goa, of one of my favorite blogger Rami's blog on the open road. It's one of the blogs from India that I religiously follow. Smartphones make sure that you never get bored. Rami called them our buddy. When we were young, Ellen and Dad would take us on a road trips across Europe. The one I remember most vividly is where we were traversing the Alpes coast with mountains on one and a silver beach line on the other side. We had sent beautiful postcards of those vistas back to our hometown, while Alan sent it to his school friends. I had not sent it back to myself. I have a thing for keeping things to myself. I don't really like to share a lot. I believe that if I will not hold on something for long enough or strong enough, it will be taken away from me. Gone are the days of sending postcards. Instagram keeps the world updated, but I am going to disappoint my fans. Rame says that when you are listening to your own own inner voice, you have to keep yourself at a safe distance from the outer world. As a YouTuber and musician, my work is open to feedback. Though it is mostly encouraging, I am also faced with nasty posts that ask me to quit singing when in Goa. I wish to write my own songs and keep away from the virtual world. Ironically, Rami also says that days passed and we eagerly wait, but Rami does not post from a vacation. I write off from social media this winter is to focus on my creative work and caption it till we meet again. I hit the post arrow. I switch off the phone and carefully place it in the front pocket of my backpack. There are many smartphones in this world, but there is only one. So you are precious. Rising to the fame in the times of social media can make one delusion at times. Even an ordinary person can be driven crazy by the powerful device, smartphone. Chhatrapati Shivaji Mumbai Airport is a complete mess. When in Keys, I would hardly come across too many people, even on the busiest of days. But Mumbai is madness. People are constantly running, chasing what? One would have to ask a local. A policeman a policewoman swiftly walks towards me. She has the build of the Middle East guy and a typical Indian face, big eyes, red bindi, and a round face. She gestured at me to move towards a small cabin-like room. I follow her. What is your purpose of visit? She asked. I am an artist, a singer. I am traveling to Goa for writing new songs. I needed a break from my routine. Bollywood? She laughs out loud. Another struggle. She shouts to her colleague and continues, when do you plan to leave? I have not booked my return tickets yet. I plan to stay here until the new year. They say the new year is the best time to be in Goa. I smile. Ma'am, do you have a business card? She asked cuttingly. No, but let me show you my social media account. I have a lot of fans in India too. I take my phone out and turn it on. I don't know about Instagram and all. She says, making weird face. Which songs have you sung? Time, I say. She interrupts. I will Google you. I only listen to Bollywood songs. Oh, yes, sure. You will find me. I have sung a rendition of a Bollywood song as well. You may go now. As I pick my luggage up to move, she interrupts. How are you traveling to Goa? By train, Goa Express. Konkan Kanya. Konkan Kanya, you can book a prepaid taxi from the airport. It is safer for foreigner tourist. Yes, sure. While she is a card and a to be point, I feel Mumbai is unlike other metropolitan cities of the world. People do care about others here, even foreigners. India, I have finally arrived. After months of pursuit and denial, I have finally convinced myself to leave everything behind. Some people make traveling alone some sound easy by writing blogs like how to travel the world on your own. But let me warn you, the decision is not that easy. Extremely winter is about to hit Pergu in a short while. It is my favorite time of the year. I know I would not be I would not be fortunate enough to witness it, but somehow it does not matter anymore, nor does my life back there, which had become a song of monotony. It had nothing more to offer, but it is not my dad's fault. Maybe it is my mistake that I could never feel a sense of belonging there. I wanted to break free as soon as I could, but was not able to do it for a very long time. As I pick my baggage and fasten the backpack across my waist, I truly feel that I have successfully left it all behind and that I am moving ahead. The four lines that inspire me a lot keep flashing in my mind. It is the power of waving word like magic that I have to heal, live, sing, and empower. I head towards the railway station. Hour reaching there, I take a sweeping glance of the station to have a panoramic view, only to figure out that Konak Karnia Express, my savior, is ready for departure. I am free by all means. Upon entering the train, I managed to take three selfies. One of the challenges that you face on a solo trip is getting a perfect picture of yourself. Sticks and stand to help, but I am far too lazy and to add those to my backpack. I like to keep it simple and minimal with only the bare essential to spend my days. The train whistles goodbye to the platform. We travel to make most our lives. We travel to break free from the cycles of society. We travel to explore the bigger plan that we are part of. Sometimes we travel to explore the infinity within us. People always ask me, where do I find my inspiration? Travel, I can vouch for it with all my heart. This Friday night is a rare bliss, and I am going to make sure that I am spend most of it writing songs. What do you plan to do when you travel? To aid my creative process further, it starts to rain. Rainfall ignites a flame in every soul. A singer is no exception. Children jump with joy, thrill, and go berserk in the rains. Rains lift us with joy, with energy. I scribe in my diary. Heaven is wide only in fiction. It is certainly blue and green in reality. What's your drug? Mine is the sea rains. What's your drug? Or the mountains? Heaven is white, only in fiction. It's certainly blue and green in reality. And when you feel so, you don't really have to die to reach heaven. You can do so while you are still alive. Life is uncertain, but death is certain. And no matter what you do, it will meet you someday, somewhere. What happens after that? Death is a complete mystery. So live life to the fullest and visit heaven more often. Next morning, the first thing I try out is a cutting chai. As they call it in India, a group of singers enter the compartment. They are all dressed up in a intricate cotton lehengas and dhotis. Women are adorned in black metal jewelry and have designs made out of bindi like dots across their faces. They also have one white bangles broad enough to fully cover their waist and partly even their arms. They play instruments that are perhaps ingenious indigenous to the Indian subcontinent. They sing in their melodious voice. I am a Bollywood fan, so I have never had issues understanding Hindi. That made sure I also learned speaking Hindi, my mother tongue. There is an inexplicable feeling about getting under the skin of a culture. As I listen to them play Urja Kale Kawa, I feel the grief of separation flow in my veins. There are some traditional folk performances and I barely know them. But are not we all the same? Yes, we are. The core of us is all emotion, feelings, and experience. How we look or where we come from might differ. Yet we are all the same. Humans are all the same. We are like light, omnipresent and ever moving. Love is the infinite space where we are traveling like beams of life. I asked the little boy in the group of six, "Where are you from?" Jaisalmer, he says. They had traveled all the way from Jaisalmer to perform in trains. I am not sure if they are allowed to. Is it a crime to express your heart and earn a living? Maybe not. It is a way better than begging. In Pergu, many artists travel from Ukraine to sing at tourist locations and earn a living. They sing their heart out, make people dance, and earn a living by it. Different countries, different artists, different times of the day, different religious, race, and what not, yet they are one, going through the same feeling, the same bathing in the same river of emotions. Are not we all the same? We all loved, we have all been hurt, we all have been locked on for our dreams, we all have succeeded, we all have failed, we all have loved, and we all have cried. As I get down on the platform at Mandgaon Junction, I smell and taste the salt in the air. That's the thing about the sea. You can't ignore it in presence. I pre-booked an Oyo room near Pelom Beach for 2 days. It's a budget accommodation. Thereafter, I need to figure out a more economical option like a backpackers hostel or PG. There is no plan, no place that I know as I know Ricky's. It feels like kind of weird taking the local taxi. Previous trip to London grants some familiarity with the left driving, but the animals on the road are complete shock. My driver moves zigzagging through the obstacle, and I let out a gasp for the fear of him running over the cows and dogs and whatnot. Who likes to drive straight? We love to drive like snakes, and therefore risk has allured mankind for too long. When the lady on Google Maps announces you have arrived, I almost feel as if life has given me a second chance. I check into my room. It's only big enough for a person to fit into. Today is going to be different than any other day in my life. I look into the mirror to assure myself that no matter what happens, I will be the solo decision marker of my life and do what I want. After getting bored for about an hour, I finally find a way out. Actually, not me, but the digital slave in me. Google is going to be my savior today. I turn my smartphone and on and search for the dumbest thing someone could attempt: how to spend time alone. It is funny how Google gets back to me with search suggestions I never thought could exist. It ranges from how to kiss to how to lose weight, and I read a couple of blogs on how to spend time alone to how to reach a conclusion. Most of them suggested reading book. I move out and enter Cafe Helsinki, which is hardly 5 minutes of walking from my hotel. I revel in the smell coffee. There is a bookshelf at the other end of the cafe. I have not read a good book in the quite some time and did not even bring any with me. How pathetic. I am educated but have never found good companies in books. I have biography gets boring, a traveler memory seems fun, a love story upsets. I decided to read some inspirational stuff. Yes, it should be in the contemporary setting. I have no name. A book catches my attention. A listing the adventure of an Indian explorer, Rami. It sounds familiar. I picked the book without giving it a second thought. This is going to be very first solo date. I have always been to cafes with either clients, friends, or my boyfriend. For the very first time, it is me, just me. After reading a couple of pages, I already feel bit better. I do make sure that I carry my diary everywhere I go, as it offers me the luxury of writing song each day and probably record my dream album someday. I stay at the cafe until 4:30 p.m. Later, I march out onto the street only to discover Palom Beach. The reception manager had insisted that I don't miss the sunset there, and more importantly, I have to find Ricky's beachsake. As I walk by the beach, I find the sea calm and serene. I befriend two Israel's tourists, and one of them turns out to be a photographer. I click their pictures and they return the favor. Since my phone is off, they promise to email them to me. They note down my email address. As I walk further, I came across Siddhivinayak art shop. A local craftsman is seated there along with his mother, probably the artist of beautiful paintings on stones and postcards on display. I make sure that I buy from the locals to encourage their art and play a small yet significant part in contributing to their livelihood. I keep moving along the beach towards a less crowded corner. A couple, probably Malaysian tourists, their t-shirt reads so, ask me to click their picture. We instantly strike a bond, engage in casual chit chat, and get a picture clicked together. They also promise me to email them later. I open my diary and scribble. Still looking for Ricky's sake in the intervals. Where are you, Ricky? A young girl, probably in her teens, approached me. She smiles from a distance, too hesitate to come near me. I smile back and continue to write in my diary. As I look up, she is still standing there. Hey, what's your name? Parvati. She chimes. Why don't you come here? Sit with me. Can I? She asks. Her innocent eyes look kind and full of expressions. Hey, so my name is. I move my hand forward as she interrupts. Alara. How do you know? I follow your music on YouTube. Really, I'm your fan. Your music reminds me of Elisa. Who is she? You don't know her? She is one of our great best singers. Gons still love her. You must listen to her song. Where do I download them? Oh no, she was more like a live performer or original composition. She never recorded for music studios. Some recordings are available on the internet, but they are not very clear. There is a place called Ricky's Sake at the end of the beach. Ricky has some good recordings as he was the drummer of the band. However, he is a psycho and you are supposed to switch off your phone before entering, so the only way is to spend an evening there. She points to the end of the beach line as she talks. Can you do me a favor? I ask her. Yes, only if you share an autograph of you. She says cheekily. Of course, tell me. Don't tell me anyone about my arrival here. What do you mean? Don't tell me anyone that I am a famous on YouTube and all of that. I want to be public attention. Is that okay? It's still. She does not know. She doesn't know that my autograph is a bait to trick her into helping me explore the beach and also reach Ricky's. It's Saturday night. Let's go to the Ricky's. I'm sure you will like the place. Okay. I say hesitantly to her, but bubbling with happiness within. Oh, mother, I wish they play our songs tonight. Your songs tonight. There is a reason why we don't have an answer to everything yet. If we become all knowing, the purpose of life will be destroyed. सो गाइस अभी यहीं पे रहने देते हैं, मिलते हैं आपसे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में। बताना जरूर आपको ये बुक कैसी लग रही है। थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग एंड प्लीज़ डू कमेंट योर फेवरेट बुक।